Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan, and we finally get down to our last crowned season champion, as we're going to crown the champion of the East. For that, we have to take you back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Acrisure Stadium to watch the crowning of Gravediggers. Tyler Menninga, take a look.
There have been years where you clenched the victory early, where you were points and points and points ahead of everybody else. But this was not that year. This was a year of perseverance for you, a year of patience for you and your crew chief, Matt Gahn. You guys dealing with issues on the truck, trying to figure that out over weeks at a time, but you never gave up. It was a fight to the finish. What a celebration on the track. Tyler, does that make this 7th series championship that much more sweet?
You know what? It really does. And you know what? I don't know if there's ever been another team out there that's won a series championship after blowing a motor and missing a whole event. Jacksonville, Florida, I knew it wasn't over, but I knew we had to work really hard after that. We had truck problems all year. This guy works his hands to the bone on that truck, and he's the one that makes it happen. You know what? Without him, I've had him for 3 years. We are undefeated on series championships since me and him have been together. I'm so proud of this guy, and I'm glad to have him on my team. You know what? Pittsburgh, this was awesome. For the first time ever at this stadium, to be able to cap it off and win this series championship right in front of you guys here. I love it, man. I can't wait to come back. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Mom, Dad, Grandma, I know you're watching at home. We did it, baby. 7-time series champions. We'll see you in Salt Lake, and I'm coming back for more.
What a moment there in Pittsburgh. I was on hand for that. Without further ado, let's fire up the Zenni Optical Hotline and go to Iowa. Welcome in the East Series champion, Tyler Menninga. Tyler, welcome to the show, man. Congratulations on your 7th championship.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. So I've been waiting a while to get back on Inside Monster Jam. So definitely excited to be here this morning.
I appreciate it, man. What an event that was. The drama was there from the moment we got into Pittsburgh. Everybody was talking about it on social media. All eyes were on that live stream. You and Bari Musau were going at it. You had a 1-point lead. Let's talk about the adversity, because Casey had mentioned that this was a different type of season for you with the new truck and blowing a motor, almost missing an entire event, and having to come from behind. So where does this series championship rank with the other ones? Is it even more bittersweet because you had to come from behind, or is it right there with all of them?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put it in like an actual placement with all the other ones, but I would say it's definitely up towards the top. But yeah, it started out, I don't blame the new truck at all, actually. It was just kind of stuff that could happen to a truck that's 3 years old or a brand new truck. But beyond blowing a motor in Jacksonville in the first race of the night, it was almost 2 months of rear steer issues. I haven't even gone back and counted the weekends yet, but it's like for 8 freestyles in a row, I had to drive with the truck with the rear steer locked to the left from like jump number 1 or 2. So that was probably bigger than blowing a motor in Jacksonville to me, because, I can't really drive the truck how I want to drive it when the rear steer is not acting the way it should be. So that was definitely frustrating. And after we got that figured out, which actually was not till the last few events where I was actually confident that it was fixed. But, I couldn't ask for a better crew guy than Matt Gahn. We've been together 3 years and we're undefeated. So I hope to keep him forever. I know he wants to kind of get off the road and do his own thing now in the shop. So I'm proud of him for that, but we'll see how the cards unfold on that.
One thing I like to ask drivers when they have accomplished crew chiefs like this that you work with, that you get along really well with, you're such a great driver, and some will call you maybe the best in Monster Jam right now. What is he telling you on your headset? Is he chiming in at all? Do you need any advice from him, or is he just sit back and let you do your thing and he takes over when you get out?
Yeah, we kind of let each other do our own things. Obviously, if I'm feeling something that he can't see in the truck, I'm going to let him know when I get out of the truck. But I do have a rule where it's like no talking when the motor's running. The only time I allow it is when I have a certain time left in my freestyle to go backflip. He tells me to go backflip. So that's about the only time that he tells me anything during the whole event.
Gotcha. When you had that blown motor in Jacksonville, I think you got 5 points for that entire event, and that's when Bari really took over the series points lead. At any point did you feel like this one could get away from you if you don't lock it in quick?
Yeah, there was. It was actually, and I'm not, blaming Bari for this, but that night in Jacksonville, I mean, it sure seemed like something was, I don't know what was going on, but like Colt Stevens crossed the race finish line like 10 foot ahead of Bari. and Bari was the winner. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see how hard we're going to have to work for this one now. And even like, Jim Kohler and them are like, man, I don't know what's going on, but they're going to make you work for this one. That's for sure.
Maybe it was the zombie arms. I love that you don't shy away from controversy and calling it as it is. And we're going to talk about that as soon as we come back. We're going to go back to Orlando for some interesting comments from Tyler. That's next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. My guest this week is Stadium E-Series champion Tyler Menninga. We talked about, frustrations with the truck. There was also some frustrations with the fan scoring with you. And we're going to take everybody back to Orlando to an episode of Monster Jam Primetime where you let those frustrations boil over. It was a side of you I haven't really seen on camera before. So let's take a look at the video and go back to Camping World Stadium.
This is the closest that it's been on tour for you, Tyler. And, it's been a season where you've been a little disappointed. You've said it yourself with some of the things that you've been able to put forth out there on the track. So how were you able to kind of dig in, come back, and kind of regain this lead?
It's ice water in the veins, and honestly, I think the fan judging is the worst it's been ever in history this year, and I feel like it's continuing to get worse. I can go out there and drive very skillfully and not get the reward that I was looking for score-wise. So, and I'm not dogging Bari. He's in second place, and a friend of mine, he's doing an awesome job. He's an awesome driver, but sometimes people go out and have no idea what they're doing, and they get a higher score than somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and it's very frustrating. So, I'm just going to do my thing, and hopefully fan judges are on my side here tonight. We're in Florida. Everybody in Florida loves Gravedigger. It's kind of the second home, so to say, of Gravedigger, Dennis always said. But, yeah, just going to lay it all out there tonight.
Knowing that, though, have you thought about kind of changing your style that you've developed over the last several years in stadiums to fit what's going out there in the track, or are you going to stay true to yourself?
I'm not changing it no matter what. You can put me in 12th place, dead last, and I will not ever change my driving style. I drive for the fans. I drive for the Gravedigger legacy. Gravedigger's known for being wild and crazy, and if, it's not getting scores anymore, I guess that's too bad. But I'm not going to let Dennis Anderson down. I'm not going to let the team Gravedigger down or the fans. I'm going to go out there and do what I've always done. And if it scores good, awesome. If it doesn't, then we'll be back next year to try again.
So a lot of emotions for you there, and I know you're somebody that never shies away from telling it as it is, but I don't know that I've ever really seen you on camera seemingly that fired up about something. So let's talk about the fan scoring. It's always controversial. This year we brought in the expert judge to try to even out the playing field. But what do you think was the biggest thing for you, especially in freestyle? Was it the rear steer? Was it the fan scoring? Or was it a combination of both things just not going right?
Well, first off, that's the first time I've heard that interview back. It sounds like I'm saying that Bari has no idea what he's doing, but he definitely does. I was not a target to Bari.
I know that.
I was frustrated, and I can't even remember where we were the week before, but it was frustrating. And then even that night, it was like cherry on top. And at that point, we did not have the expert judge on our tour at that point. So, it's just like one of those things where you go out and you calculate. And I'm not even saying it's all about me or, a good driver goes out and calculates what they're doing. And it sucks to see somebody go out there time after time again. And I'm not going to say any names at all, but it does suck to watch somebody go out there that is not as calculated and doesn't mean to do like half the stuff they're doing out on the track, and they score higher than you every time. And it's like, well, here I am putting all the effort into trying to be a better driver, and it's like not paying off anymore. So it's like, that's definitely frustrating. It's no matter what. No matter who it is, do it. The donut should not win or even get top three in skills competition. I can go out and do a donut right now too. That's the thing is, it takes a little skill to do a donut, but when somebody's out there doing a moonwalk or a combination move or bicycles or anything like that, the best one in a skills competition should be the winner for that.
So basically a donut should not compete with a 7 combination move like ones that we've seen from you all throughout the year.
No. And take mine away, put it somebody else. Camden, I watched him get the short end of the stick multiple times this season too. And it's like, what are we doing here? Are we promoting bad driving now, or are we promoting good driving? What do we want to do here?
We'll talk about World Finals in the next segment, but World Finals is going to have a different system for scoring. Mm-hmm. So the expert judging panel, which as of right now is Tom, Dennis, and Heavy D, will have 75% of the scoring, and then the fans get 25%. Do you think that is logically the next step moving forward, is to weight that out a little bit better?
Yeah, I think so, because honestly, when I heard that it was going to be 75-25, it kind of took a weight off my shoulders, because I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You can't predict the future, that's for sure. But there's definitely a good chance that the right person is going to win the scored competitions at that point, especially with people like Dennis and Tom judging. They're the kings of Monster Jam. I mean, you can't ask for a better judge on your side as any driver at the end of the day than those two. So.
I know you don't necessarily put a lot of pressure on yourself. You're always, I think the slogan is cool, calm, and collected. But as the reigning freestyle World Finals champion, did that take a little extra toll on you this season, knowing that you are the best in the world at this, and sometimes on the track it just wasn't happening?
No, because I do feel like, world championships are weird for me because, yeah, you can go out and win a world championship, and that's your best night of your career, but then back it up. Show me how you can back it up. And then, and a lot of drivers, I'm not also going to say any names, but there's been times in the past where, a person's won world championship and that's it. They don't have anything else. So it's to me, last year was an awesome year for me. It was probably my best season ever. So to go out and have the season I had and then top it off with a freestyle world championship, there was more pressure on just doing that good this season than there was just being the freestyle world champion and having to go prove it. I mean, I proved it that night. I don't have to. I guess I would like to prove it again. But I guess the more the thing to me is to go rock it out all year long, the whole point series, and then finish off at World Finals with another World Championship. That's what makes a World Championship champion.
Well, you're going to get that chance to do it all over again coming up in Salt Lake City. We're going to talk about Tyler's chances at World Finals next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. This week, I'm joined by Gravedigger driver Tyler Menninga. Tyler, before we get to World Finals, I think I've talked about this with Leslie and you personally as well. Your last name, all right, Menninga. I got it from you in Baltimore, years ago when I was, trying to make sure I had the pronunciation right. Leslie says Menninga. I have Adam saying Menninga, but everybody else in the sport calls you Tyler Menninga. And it used to drive me nuts when Colt and I shared the booth because I would be talking about you and I'd be saying Menninga, then he'd come right back Tyler Menninga, and everybody's thinking that I'm wrong. So is this just this thing that everybody in the sport says Menninga, or how did that even come about?
At this point, Scott, everybody says it wrong pretty much, so I just let them go with it. I don't even care at this point.
All right.
Nobody really says it right, so most of the time I just get called Tyler, or Tig is my nickname. So.
All right, well, we'll keep plugging away to try to get it perfect for you at some point. Let's talk about World Finals. You have 2 straight World Finals championships. 2 years ago in Nashville, you won the skills competition. Last year in LA, you won BKT Freestyle. I think what may be missing on your resume is the racing competition. You are one of the best pure racers in the sport every single year. You're 50-8, 49-7, somewhere in that. What's it going to take for you this year to walk away with the racing competition, and is that the one you're gunning for?
I guess I'm not really gunning for one more than any of the others. I'd like to just walk away with, one would be awesome. But yeah, I think racing takes, any of the world championships out there, World Finals, it takes a lot of luck, more than skill, I would say. Obviously you got to beat all the fast guys to win, but if you can be on the other side of the bracket and see a couple upsets, that would be nice. With the format this year, yeah, I don't really know what to expect for racing. So I know who I'm racing against Friday night. I got my eye on a couple of them, and then I have a feeling I know who I'm gonna. If I make it to the final, I have a feeling there's between 2 of them. I know who's probably gonna be in the final round on Saturday with me if I make it there. So the goal is first to make it through your field on Friday. To make it to Saturday, so that's the first goal for me.
Do you like the 2-day format? Do you think it, or is it just doesn't matter? You're just going to do whatever Tyler does? Because drivers have different opinions. I've asked a lot of different drivers. Some of them are like, yeah, I think it's going to be great. Some of them are like, I'm not sure. Some of them say, I'll wait till I get out there and get on the racetrack to figure it out. But what are your thoughts on splitting racing and freestyle?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. Just because, you could do a two-day event in Houston. And I could win racing and be on it Friday night, knowing that I could win, race anybody that night and win. And then Sunday, it's well, I'm not as good today. So that sucks because it's man, I was at my prime when I was ready to go to the final yesterday. And now I'm cold again. So I know they're going to give a couple practice warm-ups for the guy on Friday, but yeah, I don't know. Track conditions can change. It's not going to be the same track as it is Friday to Saturday. So to me, it's not as fair driver wise, and then scoring wise, same for freestyle. But I'm going to give it a chance. Obviously, we're not going to change it, and we're going to go out there, and there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. So I like to be on the winning aspect of those things. So sometimes you just have to adapt as a driver.
Do you think that Saturday's racing winner will have an advantage then going into that final race, even with the warm-up races?
Absolutely, because like if I'm only getting 2 warm-up races as a Friday night winner, I mean, that guy's on rails. He's marched through a whole bracket at this point, and I'm going out for warm-ups against nobody.
Yeah.
Like I'm just taking a couple warm-up passes. There's no pressure. There's no nothing. And I'm assuming that, you know, if your time Friday night is faster than the guy on Saturday, you get lane choice. I would hope that's how they do it. So that will be nice. So at that point, your final round on Friday, you're gunning for lane choice on Saturday. Like you want to run the fastest pass possible for lane choice.
Okay, so crystal ball, if you do make it through the bracket on Friday, you said you had your eye on 1 or 2 drivers from Saturday. Who do you think makes it through to face you in that final race?
Can't tell you.
Oh man, all right. I was trying to get that out.
You could probably look at the bracket.
Yeah.
And or at who's racing Saturday, and there might be more than 2. There's 2 that I was like, yep, probably going to see them on Saturday if I make it there. I got to make it there first myself, so that's the hard part.
Let's talk about freestyle then. To repeat, obviously you have to beat all the drivers from Friday or Saturday. There's not going to be a final square off between Friday's freestyle high score and Saturday's freestyle high score. Anything? Have you been thinking about this yet? What you're going to do? How you're going to try to defend your title? How you're going to try to walk out of there with a second consecutive freestyle championship?
That's one of those things where it's like, you know, you can look at the video that Monster GM put out of the track, the rendering of that, and you know, as close as it will be to that, it always is just a little different than that. So I always usually wait on freestyle till I get there because, you know, you can sit there and look at it and study it and think, oh, if I can do something here or there, and yeah, I mean, more time gives you an upper hand, I guess. But next thing you know, you show up and that jump's not exactly how you thought it was going to be. So it's I wait till I get there and I kind of plan my stuff out then. And whether it's something crazy or, you know, it also depends. Like last year, I didn't really feel like I had to do anything crazy because everybody's kind of falling on their face.
Right.
You know, Ryan had a great run after mine, and it was definitely nerve-wracking watching that one. But
yeah, it was great footage. I think we had a split screen of you watching his run, and we could see like certain points where you were just holding your breath a little bit, man. But it worked out. What about skills for you? Because obviously you've got a championship there. You're one of the best. We've seen so many different combination moves from you this year. Is that something that you'll plan out ahead of time, or is that something that you'll wait till you get there to see what the dirt looks like?
That's another thing where I wait till I get there. And it's like, you know, it's almost anymore now that I do have one. It's not like I want to let off the gas and not try and win that competition, but it's also like, you know, I do have to race that night too.
Sure.
And do we race before, or is it racing then?
I think skills is first. I think skills will be first, yeah.
So like, yeah, like that's going to put me in a hard spot, you know, anytime that the racing is next, or even if, you know, freestyle was next, it's like, man, I do want to push it and, you know, see what I can do and push the limits of myself and the sport, but I would hate to take myself out of racing on a 2-wheel skills competition. So that's one of those things where I look at the track when I get there as well and just kind of decide what's something that I think is going to win, and then what's something that's, you know, possibly if everybody else fails, my secondary idea as well. So
do you think the altitude in Salt Lake City or the environment will have any effect on stamina throughout a 4-competition 2-day weekend, or is that just going to be another day at the office for you?
It should just be another day. I mean, yeah, your stamina during freestyle is going to be probably pretty short, with being in the mountains and in that elevation and stuff. But yeah, you might be a little more wore out after you get done out of the truck in freestyle, or, you know, running the bracket and racing. But you know, catch your breath and get back on the horse.
All right, I love that. Coming up, your questions for Tyler Menninga. You take over the show right here on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan, joined this week by Tyler Menninga as we talk about his 7th Career Series championship. Now it's time to get to some fan questions. You can submit yours on Instagram as Scott Jordan MJSX. Mike Trapper 04. I love this guy's questions because a lot of them aren't about Monster Jam. So let's start off with music. He's asking, what metal rock band do you listen to regularly?
Man, I listen to I can't even put one band in. Like I love metal, I love rock, I love country. I just kind of skip. Depends on the day for me. Lately, man, what have I been on lately? I would say I call it dad rock, like whatever my dad was playing in the truck when I was growing up. You know, it was like Metallica, AC/DC, you got like Soundgarden, Audio Slave, all that stuff. So that's probably what I'm on right now.
No, I really feel old because that's what I listen to as well, still to this day. So that's definitely dad rock for me. All right, Green Joe Buff says, what is your favorite Gravedigger paint scheme? I love the Green Ghost. Can't wait to see you in St. Louis.
That's the one, Green Ghost. I wish that one time that they would bring that back and I could drive the Green Ghost. That is like the best era of Gravedigger right there. That's my favorite.
Brody Hole 2 is asking if you could be on tour with anyone that you haven't been on tour yet with. Who would it be?
Man, I would say Adam Anderson because he is absolutely hilarious. And I probably wouldn't have a voice after the first weekend with him because I'd be laughing so hard.
You know, we could see a Gravedigger the Legend against a regular Gravedigger on a tour.
I would love that. Let's plan that.
All right, I love that. I love that. Larry Boy Swell Gig Gravedigger, that's a long name, says, what is your favorite freestyle that you had on this season? Is there one that stands out to you as a highlight?
Yeah, I guess probably it's kind of a lackluster season for freestyles for me, but I would say, probably Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was probably the last one of the year.
I think that was the biggest one for you as well. It was, it was the biggest moment. You shined, you came through. Tyler, thanks so much for being here, man. Always good to catch up with you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in action soon.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, and we'll see you guys at Salt Lake City.
Gravediggers Tyler Menninga or Tyler Menninga, depending on who you ask. So shout out to Coach Stevens. That is it for Tyler. Next week, you can join me right here with another brand new edition of Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I will be joined by Jamie Sullivan as we talk about year one and Sparkle Smash for her. So it's going to be a great episode. Make sure you get your questions in for Jamie. Follow me on Instagram at ScottJordanMJSX. I'll give you a follow back. We might get your questions on the air. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and downloading the show on Racer Network, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube as well. We're going to continue rocking. We got about 12 more of these to go, so let's hang in there and finish strong. That is it for me. I'll see you right here next week on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.